Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Students, today we are going to start our unit 15, right? Hydrostatic pressure, right? In this chapter, and another thing is there, and its applications. In this chapter, we have four main parts, right? All the four parts are going to tell you what is the heading or the name of this chapter. Right? It's going to explain you the name of this chapter. Right? Then before we move to the chapter, we should understand what are the terms that they are in the topic of the chapter. Right? Here you can break this like this, right? Hydrostatic pressure, its applications, right? And therefore, to understand this, you have to understand what is hydro. You should know what is hydro. You should know what is static. You should know what is pressure. You should know what are the applications of it, right? In this chapter, the first part that you are learning, 15.1, it's about pressure. The second part, the 15.2, that you are learning here, is about hydrostatic pressure, right? Pressure. And 15.3 that we are learning here, transmission of pressure. Sorry, you have 5 parts, right? 15.4 is pressure due to gas. (15.5) is about the flotation. Right? You have 5 parts in this chapter. To understand what is hydrostatic pressure and its application, right? First, we try to understand the term that we are using as a name of this chapter. Hydro. What is the term hydro? Go to your dictionary and try to find what is the meaning, the direct meaning, the language meaning of the hydro. The hydro means, right, or in other words, where we are using the term hydro, right? We are using this term hydro when we are dealing with a fluid, right? A fluid. If you are dealing something with a fluid, right, then we are using the term hydro. What is the fluid means? What are the types of fluids are there in the nature, right? There are 3 kinds of, or 3 states of metals are there in the nature that you know already, right? The first is solid, second one is liquid and the gas. Normally, the term fluid is applicable for the liquid and the gas, not for the solids, right? For the liquid and gas. What is the similarity character, the similar character that has, or we can say for liquid and the gas is the mobility of the particles, right? In the liquid and the gas itself, both are the particles itself has a mobility inside the matter or the structure, right? Due to that mobility, right, due to that moving character, we are calling the liquids and the gas in one term, that is fluid. If we are using something or we are studying something about the fluid, then the term hydro is used on that studies, right? Then the hydro means in this chapter what we are going to discuss, right, is we are going to discuss about the fluids, right? That's why they are using the term hydro. The second, static, right? Static means if something is stationary, right, if something is immobile with the structure, right, then we are calling it as static. The opposite term of the static is dynamic or mobile, right? If something is moving, then we are calling it as dynamic. Okay, hydrostatic is a part of studies. Another part of studies is there, that is hydrodynamic. Hydrodynamic means the studies on the moving fluids. Here we are going to study, or we are going to learn something about the static fluids, right? The actions or the characteristics of static fluids, right? That's why we are using the static hydro or hydrostatics, right? That is the second term of the topic. The third term of the topic is going to be discussed in 15.1. The fourth term, you can understand what is that, its application, right? While after we learning about this, we are going to apply it. How we are going to apply in the nature, right? How we are applying in the industry, how we are applying in our day-to-day life, right? That is going to be discussed in its applications, right? These all are going to be covered by we learning this, right? Then we'll start in this video 15.1. That is, what is pressure? 15.1. That is pressure. And what is pressure? Right? I'll explain you, right, or I'll introduce you this pressure as a feeling, right, due to the force. For an example, if someone give you a force on your hand, right, if you give a force on your hand, right, now what we are saying this process as, right, we will tell this process as, right, pressing, right? If someone give a force on you, right, you don't say don't give me a force, right? Normally, don't give me a force. If you are using the term force, then it's going to be artificial, right? In general, we are saying don't press me, no, don't press me, don't give pressure on me, right? The press, the term is there in the pressure itself, right? Then don't press me, that is the term that we are using, right? Then the force is not going to be felt. Normally we are not feeling the force, we are feeling the pressure. If someone give us a force, or if you are giving a force on something, right, that thing is not going to feel your force. It's going to feel your pressure. Right? For an example, I'll tell you. You take a piece of brick. Right? Piece of brick. Now you know a brick has 6 faces, right? But it's going to be there are 3 similar faces, right? 6 faces are there, right? Unfortunately, the 6 faces, among the 6 faces, right? This face and the face behind this is going to be similar. This face and this face is going to be similar. This face and this face is going to be similar. Right? If there are 3 there are 3 faces which are similar. Right? Similar pairs of faces are there. Right? Now we'll take the mass of this brick as 500 grams. Right? You know 500 grams mean in kilogram, that is 0.5 kilogram. Right? If you change this into weight, you know the weight is equal to mass into gravitational acceleration. How much is the mass? It should be given in the kilogram, not in the gram. Right? 0.5 into gravitational acceleration is going to be 10. Therefore 5 Newton is going to be the weight of this brick. Right? Then 5 Newtons are there. Now if you keep this brick on a table, this brick is going to apply 5 Newton of force on this table. Right? If you keep this brick in this way or in this way, right, in this dimension or in this dimension, right, the applied force is going to be 5 Newton. Correct or no? Because the applied force on the table is going to be the weight of the object. That's it. Right? Nothing else is going to be applied. But take this 500 grams of brick and keep this brick on your head in this way and in this way and in this way. Right? What is going to be your feeling? The force applied of 5 Newton, since the feeling that has been felt, right, the feeling is going to be different. This is going to be difficult than this. Right? The pain felt in this orientation is going to be more than this orientation. Right? It's going to be more than this orientation. Right? If you try to do this, you will feel this. Okay. Then the applied force in all the orientations are the same. The forces are same. But the feeling getting different. The feeling is different. Right? That is what we are saying. We are not feeling the forces, we are feeling something else due to the force. Right? The force, the feeling of the force is not actually the force. The feeling is going to be the way, right, how we have been applied the force is going to be felt. Right? Now, you think like this. In this orientation, the same orientation, Now you are going to keep another brick on this. Another 500 grams. Will you feel more pain on the head? Yes, right? Because more force has been applied, right? Therefore, the feeling, that is what I said to you, that feeling, that you are feeling something due to the force, right? It's getting differ due to the orientations, right? That is going to be the pressure. Then this pressure is depend on the force applied, right? I'll just change that term, the force, the perpendicular force, right? We normally, when we are dealing with the pressure, we take the perpendicular force to our account, right? Not just force. If we apply the force, not the just force, that is perpendicular force is going to be considered. What is perpendicular force? It's not in your syllabus. Don't worry. If the force is applied perpendicularly, take that force. Don't worry about anything, right? If you want to really worry about it, right, go to advanced level, select science stream, and you will find in physics what is perpendicular force, right? You are going to learn it. Now, the pressure applied is depend on the force. Now, if weight gets more, the pressure is going to be more, right? The pressure is depend on the force, right? It's not just for force, that is perpendicular force. Perpendicular force, right? Now think about the relationship between the perpendicular force and the pressure. What is the relationship? If you increase the perpendicular force, the pressure also getting increased. We are calling this as proportionality, right? The pressure is proportional to perpendicular force. Proportional means if you increase, this is also going to get increased, right? Therefore, we are using this sign, that is proportional sign, right? Sign of proportionality. Proportional, the pressure is proportional to perpendicular force. If you increase the perpendicular force, pressure gets increased. The second one, the pressure is depend on another thing, another factor. What is that factor? We can easily say that factor using this example, right? Here you have an area for the brick. Here also you have an area for the brick. Here also you have an area, right? The area will take this as A1 and this is A2, this is A3. The area of this, the cross area, or the force applied area, right? How much of the force, how much of area has been felt by that force, right? Then A1, A2, A3. If you write this in the ascending order, the area, the A2 is going to be less than A1 is going to be less than A3. Right? Therefore, the less area is going to be this. Second, this one. Third one, this one. The more feeling or more pain is going to be felt in this orientation. Right? Therefore, the A2 is going to be going to give you more force, more pressure, right? Then less area giving you more pressure, right? Then the area is a factor which is going to make influence on the pressure, right? Therefore, this pressure is depend on area but not proportional. Why? If you increase the area of force applied, right, the pressure gets decreased. No? Here, in this orientation, less pressure but more surface area. right? In this orientation, more pressure but less surface area. Therefore, the relationship between the force and the surface area is not proportional, that is inversely proportional, right? How we write the inversely proportional? It's like this, right? Inversely proportional. Why we are writing like this? If you have a factor like this, for an example, if you have a factor like this, right? Here, if you increase this part, right, the all fraction is going to decrease. Sorry, not the factor, the fraction. All the fraction is going to decrease. 1 over 5, if you put 1 over 10 here, right, this is going to be less than this. If you increase this part, right, the whole is going to decrease. Now, pressure is not depend on the area, that is depend on this whole fraction, right, 1 over area. If you increase the area, then automatically the fraction is going to decrease, right? By increasing the area, fraction is decreasing, that means the pressure is going to decrease. Then we can easily denote or show how the pressure is depend on surface area, right, in this manner, right? Then the pressure is proportional to this factor, not to the area, right? It's proportional to this factor. Then if you take this perpendicular force as P and the surface area as A, this is the pressure, then we can write the pressure is depend on the force, the perpendicular force F and the surface area A, right, or force applied area A, right? Now think about our relationship between the force and the area and pressure. If you increase the perpendicular force, this fraction is going to increase, then the pressure is going to increase. If you increase this the surface area, the fraction is going to be decreased, then the pressure is going to decrease, right? From this, mathematically we are deriving how, don't worry about it, right? The pressure is equal to the perpendicular force divided by surface area or force applied area, right? Use this term, don't use just force and area, right? You write in your notebook as the pressure is equal to the perpendicular force applied divided by the surface area, the force felt, right? The surface area of the perpendicular force, right? It should be written in that manner. Okay, now that is the 15.1 pressure, right? Inshallah, in next video we'll start 15.2.